talk when the cap comes off, yeah. I don't really give a fuck, I'ma let you walk, yeah. Let me live my life, I'ma let you do you, yeah. I just wanna have fun and with my feet kicked back, drinking hand, meditate about getting back. Chase good vibes, protect me, tell no lies and keep my peace. I just might have hurt my liver, 7-day bender, yeah, I'm a sinner. Full-time sender, when a chicken dinner. Truth don't bend her, lies, I'm no swimmer. That's this pussy, then my eyes get wide, silent killer. Pride go hide, mood tight like Miller. On my DT shit, blunts feel gorilla. Then I'm stuck in the same spot, work ethic vanilla. At least I'm working, and the road's real rocky, so I'm swerving. Daily hoes coming to, I'm not deserving. Pissed a few too many off, but I'm learning. Burning bridges that burn me. I don't really wanna talk when the cap comes off, yeah. I don't really give a fuck, I'ma let you walk, yeah. Let me live my life, I'ma let you do you, yeah. I just wanna have fun and
Yo! Welcome back. Episode 6 of Authentic Vibes Only podcast. What's up, everybody? This week we are going to talk about negativity in your life and how to deal with negativity from others, critics, haters. Also dealing with negativity in all aspects of life and workplace, friend group, relationships, stuff like that. We've touched base on it a little bit in I think all of our podcasts, but now we'll dive deeper into that and explain how we go about it. And I think the way we go about it is kind of the way like you should go about it. That sounds biased, but like I think we have good ways to go about this. And when you listen to other people speak on it as well, and other professionals and stuff, that they speak on a lot of the same stuff that we're going to speak on today. So start off, Jordan, when it comes to negativity in your life, let's hear a little bit about like if you get negative comments or critics or haters, just on social media or in person or messages from whoever. What's your way of going about that? How do you handle that? How do you feel about that? And things along those lines. Let's dive into that.
Yeah, so I do a few different things. The first thing is, first I laugh, especially with someone I don't know, and that like I've never talked to, and they don't know who I am, like I never met them or anything. I laugh because then to me I'm like, well, like why? Like what's your point of doing this? But then I take it a step further and I try to understand like why they would come out and say certain things. If they've never spoken to me before, if they don't even know who I am, I've never met them or anything of the sort. And I like, because to me, if someone's coming out and saying something, there's a reason behind it. So I try to figure out why that is. And most of the time, I can't ever figure it out. So instead, I just redirect it. And I'm like, well, if someone took the time out of their day to try and say something negative or negative comment, critic, whatever the case may be, then that reflects more upon them than it does about myself. So I kind of keep that in mind.
That's, you just said you can't figure out why, bro. That's exactly why, right there. Most people, critics, haters, that's negativity, any type of thing like that. People are doing that because it's a reflection on themselves, man. And I'm not saying these people, I mean, you're kind of asshole if you're obviously just being negative and stuff, you know, or saying negative things to people, especially people you don't know about. But a lot of the time, like we did speak on this before, but we'll dive into it. Like I said, we're going to dive deeper into it. A lot of time people are like that because they feel some type of way about themselves, or they're insecure about something in themselves, and something you're doing good is bringing or representing something that they're insecure about themselves. So they're speaking on it negatively because they feel some type of way inside themselves, whether they know it or not. They have that in their subconscious mind, their heart. They're insecure about that inside themselves, and they see someone else doing it at a successful level or successful rate. So they get upset about it because that's not what they're doing. And then they want to speak negatively about it. Go ahead. Sorry. You can keep going.
Well, yeah, and then I will say the thing that always makes me laugh so much is when I'll get, hate mail or something of the sort, but they don't decide to use the real name. They decide to make a fake alias. Like,
Or like
for
an
instance,
anon.
yeah, literally. So, and then I'm like, wait, what? And they'll be like, oh yeah, I know you from way back when. Like, I went to high school with you or whatever. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, what are you talking about? And then you search up the name and it's not anywhere. It's not even real. And I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, but if you're going through that extreme, you're a piece of shit, in
Nah,
my
for real.
opinion. Like, what's your
You're not a
point?
piece of shit, bro. That's just like I said. I mean, you're kind of a
No,
piece of
bro.
shit. But
No, you're a
like
piece
for
of
real,
shit.
like they're doing it.
Like man up and try and say something to my face. Like, if you have an issue, by all means, bring it to the surface and have, the balls and the courage to say something to my face, and then we can have a conversation.
We get
But,
that. But
if
that's
you're, I
I'm
don't know,
sorry.
man. It's the same thing with like the whole social media stuff, keyboard warriors and things of that nature.
But you can't take that stuff personal. That's kind of not being a dick. I mean, we're on the same page a lot of shit. It's kind of just like an ego thing. Like obviously it pisses you off and it's like, bro, you got fucking something to say to me, then say it to me. But like I said, bro, like they're in that position, and especially when they're going that far, they're super insecure, bro. They have a lot going on in themselves and they obviously can't figure that out. So they want to go to an extent that they think is going to make them feel better, and they think oh, I'm gonna say this fucked up shit, or blah blah blah, because they fucking feel like shit on the inside, and they think that that's gonna help them, instead of just covering and fixing that issue in themselves. So, like, yeah, like I'm not gonna fucking say like be an asshole, but yeah, you can't be, even you can't take that personal. I mean, I will too, bro. Like when it goes to that extent, it's hard to not take it personal, but that's one thing that I want to speak on here, is because that's what we're talking about, is when it comes to negativity, you can't take that shit personal. Even no matter how fucked up it is, like you can speak on it and say like, put it out there, whatever. Someone said this to me, blah, blah, blah. This isn't the way that it should be handled. I don't know why this is getting said. Like, okay. But like also know that deep down that really has nothing to do with you. And even if it does, like sometimes there are critics out there in negativity that's a good thing, like they're a lot of the times, especially if it's people that don't know you, they're gonna be critical because they genuinely are just being critical and kind of being assholes. So that's the type of like negativity and stuff coming from critics where you don't take it exactly personal, but you hold on to that and kind of evaluate that, and make sure that what they're saying may not make sense, like make sure it doesn't make sense and it isn't something you could be doing better or changing or doing differently with yourself or whatever you're doing in work, whatever they're criticizing. I know I switched up a little bit. It's not as much negativity, but more on critics, on people that can be random and giving you critiques. That stuff's not personal. Usually it's just like, that's their opinion. Or like I said, when it's really negative, that's because someone's insecure about that in themselves. But when it's just like critical stuff, you can't take it personal. You just gotta hold on to that, and evaluate it a little bit, but don't let it just fucking overwhelm you and take over like, oh fuck, I'm doing this completely wrong, because you may not be. That just might be their critique, and it could be the wrong critique. So that's yeah, a little bit on how to handle critiques. And you could keep speaking on negativity. My bad. I don't mean to call you out, but yeah, it's just hard to not take that stuff personal. I do feel that. What I think that does need to be spoke on is that we can't take that stuff personal from people, because depending on the manner, if it's really negative, they're probably insecure in themselves. And if it's a critique from someone, yeah, you do take it not personal, but take it into accountability, evaluate it, make sure it's not a critique that does make sense or mean something that you need to change in your business model or your life model or whatever the case may be with that.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, critique and critics to me are different than negative comments, though. Like, when if it's someone critiquing me, then like I don't let it upset me at all. I'm actually trying to figure out like, okay, like I'm gonna try to understand where you're coming from, and if it is somewhere I can improve upon, then I'm gonna do so. As opposed to if it's a negative comment, I get mad. Like I get mad, and it feel like I don't know about you, but it actually fuels me to work harder just to prove them wrong as like a big F you to their face. Personally,
I I've come more, like I said, to just try my best to not take. Yeah, I just try my best not to take that fucking shit personal, bro. It used to, and it's because it used to get to me so badly, bro, so badly when someone would make a negative comment to me. You know, like I would want to go for their fucking throat, bro. Like I would literally just want to. I would want to become a keyboard warrior and just say so much fucked up shit to this person. Um, especially for like insulting me or being negative, but like I do my best now to just not take that fucking shit personal and like I don't, okay, I guess not take it personal. Let's put it this way. Not take it in to an extent where it's going to piss me the fuck off, but do take it personal as personal motivation. Yeah. Like it does motivate me when people say stuff like that. It motivates me more, but now that's how I use it as fuel. I use it as fuel to motivate me to work harder, even if I am working hard, but to do better and keep working harder um and not just fucking get pissed about it. You know, I don't get pissed about it, but it's still the same thing as you're saying. I just don't get fucking mad about it. But like me, by taking it as motivation, that's still like a fuck you to them, because like if they're being an asshole to me and they're just being negative, and especially no response, dude, that's a silent killer, bro. Like no response is a response, and they're probably more fucking pissed. They're gonna get even more pissed off by you not responding, one, and then two, seeing you work even harder, and then them not realizing the fact that you're working even harder and still doing more because they said that to you, and that's gonna make them even madder. So
yeah,
if they can't come to the fact with the insecurities in themselves and heal it, yeah, they're just gonna keep getting more pissed off, saying more fucked up shit, and reflecting bad qualities about themselves that they don't want to fix through being negative towards other people. But it's never going to change, and they're going to keep getting more pissed off by seeing people work harder and shit by the stuff they're saying, because that's what happens to a lot of people is when there's negativity like that, yeah, it is fuel for people and they want to work harder. And even if you, like I said, you don't take it personal, you take it personal, do your best to not take personal, but use it as fuel, as a motivation just to work harder, even if they're completely wrong. Because I mean, we did talk about it, but there's not a problem with working harder. Like you don't want to over fucking do yourself, but you
yeah,
could work harder and just show the haters why the fuck they're not where you're at. And why you are where you're at and why you're doing the stuff you're doing by putting in the work that they're not putting in, and they're just sitting there critiquing and being assholes for no reason, or because they're jealous or mad that they're not doing it themselves.
yeah. I agree with that. We'll say the thing is like, I mean, I've come to the realization a while ago that there's always going to be people that come up with false narratives, right? And false, I guess, assumptions about who you are as a person and the things that you're doing, especially if they don't know anything about you, never spoke to you, never met you, things of that sort. Um, so I understand that. So for me, it's more about, how do I want to say, like staying true to myself and letting my work speak for myself, to say like, well, I mean, yeah, you can say these things, but I'm doing XYZ, which is the exact opposite of all this stuff that you're even saying. Anyway, um, but again, like I still get a little mad whenever I get those negative comments, because to me, when I try to think about it, I'm like, how can you be so disrespectful, but you know nothing about me? And that to me, like that makes me mad, but not mad to the point where like I want to punch somebody or anything, but mad as in like a fuel type of thing where I'm like, okay, like, oh yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm pumped up. I'm about to outwork so much more than I'm already doing. Which is also can be a little bad sometimes, because I'll be working till probably like 20-ish hours a day, and then Madison will yell at me and tell me I need to chill out. But yeah, I don't know. It drives me, bro. Like it really does drive me, and it fuels me so much.
No, that's a good thing. You know, like mad I don't think mad. I would say like mad for you, mad for me, maybe not the right word, but yeah, it's fuel for us, and we use that stuff as motivation. But like you said, dude, it doesn't matter what the fuck you're doing in life. Dude, you could literally like be doing bare minimum, bro. Like not being an asshole, but like if you're really just doing bare minimum, like people are still gonna fucking hate on you, bro. Like if you're fucking doing nothing, like first say, I don't want to like nothing. I don't really know what that even entails, to be honest. But dude, it just doesn't fucking matter. You could be a fucking CEO of a company. You be fucking the best basketball player in the world. You could fucking be the fucking manager of a restaurant, manager of McDonald's, fucking whatever it is, dude. Retail worker, fucking it doesn't matter what the fuck it is, dude. You could literally 100%, 100% of the time stay in your own lane and not comment on other people or any of that shit. And people are still going to comment on you and hate on you. So yeah, you just got to realize that, eyes on the prize, man, and use whatever people say as fuel and as motivation. And also realize like you're probably doing more than what that person is. And that's why they're saying the things they're saying, because they're mad that they're not doing as much as you are. And keep the eyes on the prize, because if I say don't get mad, because like you don't want someone's already being negative towards you, right? So you get mad, that's just more negativity. So not exactly will the like negativity prevent you from reaching the prize or like reaching the finish line. But being stuck in a negative mindset can distract you, and being mad about that can be a distraction from what you are trying to reach with your goals, especially if you're just fucking wasting your time thinking about it all the time. Like if you fucking that's just the one thing stuck on your mind or whatever the case may be. Yeah, it can be a distraction, like just constantly listening to the critics and the haters and all the negativity in your life. Because also that just, like I said, it means you're focused on negativity. So then you're putting off negative vibes, and a negative fucking the universe is gonna pick up on that, bro. And then it's just gonna bring more negativity into your life. So even when people are negative to you, yeah, be positive and use that as motivation to just still be a better you. No matter what the person said. Just keep being positive, keep a positive outlook on it, and keep working and doing you, because you're doing something. If you didn't have haters, bro, you're obviously not doing. You're not doing something right, bro. Like if you're doing something right, bro, you're gonna have haters. That's how life works, bro. When you're doing something right and you're working hard, you will have haters, dude. Um, and like I know I just said, like, even if you're really doing nothing, but basically doing nothing, bro, you're still doing something, bro. Like you're always doing something, even if it's not a lot. So basically, yeah, you're literally just going to always have haters, but the harder you work, the more there's going to be. So you're doing something right if you have people that are hating on you and sending negative things towards you, or being very critical of you. Um, so yeah, just use that as fuel and keep positive on it. Don't fucking bring more negativity in your life just from a negative comment or a negative critique from somebody. You don't want to do that.
No, you don't. There's no need to, really. I will say, like, for myself, after I get past that initial phase of, it driving me and motivating me deeper and stuff like that, is I switch it and I say, okay, well, I'm not going to reply to anything in a negative way by any means. The only thing I will say, if someone directly comes at me and they say something rude or negative, like really negative, depending on what it is, if they're just saying blasphemy, I will come out and I'll say something, but in a really classy way, to where I'm not being rude or disrespectful. I'm just putting you in your place in a respectful way, though. You know what I'm saying? But besides that, like after that initial stage, it's more of try to reposition my mindset of saying, okay, well, yeah, whatever, the shit was said, but where do I go from now? Like, how do I continue to improve and get to the goals that I have, like 6 months from now, a year from now, stuff like that.
No, bro, that's a good way to look at it, because Yeah, we just said, bro, criticism, you can't be stuck on it. You get stuck on it, you're stuck in a bad night mindset. So you not getting stuck on it, you're still working. You fucking you saw it, you evaluated it, you realized like how it made you feel. You're evaluating why they might have said that, and then you're like, all right, fuck it, you know, like no response is a response. You're like, fuck it, I don't care what you said. I'm doing me. I'm gonna keep working. Like it don't matter what you said to me. Um, and that's a good way to go about it. You want criticism to be your fuel and not your kryptonite, and not just fuck everything up, right? And like I said, you take criticism as a compliment, man. Um, it may be a better compliment than a compliment, honestly, because in a certain aspect, bro. Like if you gotta like make sure it's not like actual good critical criticism, right? And it's actually just like negativity and haters saying stuff
Yes.
that they're just saying. But there is criticism that you need to really evaluate, like I said, and that's like critical stuff. But there's just so many negative people, and we're talking like he said, there's a difference between like haters and negativity and criticism. Um,
Yes.
so make sure it isn't criticism and it is someone being a hater, just saying negative stuff. You got it. That's what I mean when I say evaluate it, because you want to make sure that if it is criticism, like you can change something or it is something you could do better. But yeah, dude, if it's just negative comments and people hating, that's probably better than a normal compliment, like I said, because people are hating because you're doing something fucking right, man. And you're working fucking hard, and that's what you want in life. And um also just like remember when it comes to like doing good things and being successful, bro, um and not responding, like I said, no response is response. Positive and successful people don't put others down. So like just because someone's putting you down, you don't need to stoop down to that level, because you're going to lower your vibration, you're going to lower your frequency, you're going to lower your mindset just to fucking put someone else down. Like there's no point to do that, whether someone's doing it to you or not. Like you're stooping to your level. So basically like yeah, basically what I'm saying is don't stoop to down to someone else's level just because they have something that they are saying to you that's disrespectful. Don't stoop down to their level, because that's not going to benefit you in any way anyways. Like I said, I used to get so fucking pissed and want to fucking respond to people and be like, oh, you said this, well, you're fucking whatever, like you're a piece of shit, you're this, you're that, and call them names or say whatever. But I've really grown from that and realized that that's not getting me anywhere either. Like I'm just stuck in a negative place too, and I'm on the same level as them, and that's not what you are. Like you doing your stuff and working hard and having haters, like if you want to be successful, you can't drop down to someone else's level and be a hater too if you're being hated on. So if you even do respond, like honestly, it's going to piss them off more by you not giving a reaction that they're expecting. And when people give reactions like that and negativity and stuff like that, they're expecting a negative reaction back, and that's exactly what they want from you. They want your negative energy. They want you to come back and snap back at them, bro. But that's not what you should do. Like I said, no response is a response, and that's going to piss them off more. Or if you do respond, fucking kill them with kindness, bro.
That's the thing.
They'll
Yep.
get, that's another thing, bro. Like you kill them with kindness if you do respond. Like you either don't respond and that's really gonna fucking piss them off, or you kill them with kindness. And that's, like I said, that's another thing that's just gonna fucking piss them off, is like, how the fuck am I saying this to him and he's still being like real respectful and nice to me, you know? Like that makes a person even more
Yep.
upset. So if you have a response, kill them with kindness, dude. Or even like apologize to them. Like, I'm sorry you fucking feel that way, you know? Like, I'm sorry you feel that way. Whatever. If that's the response, literally, I'm sorry you feel that way. That's not correct, but that's it. That's like all you can just say that, you know? Like you can apologize to them for feeling the way they feel, and that's gonna piss them off too. And I'm not saying you want to piss these people off more, but like that's like they're haters and they're negative. So like these are ways to go about that. Like that your goal is not to piss them off more, but these are just like ways to handle it. And I'm telling you that if you handle it this way, it is going to piss them off more. I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing, but I know that like the way if you respond in these kind of ways, that really does irk that person even more. And you're just still going about yourself, and you didn't spread any negativity or insult anybody else or nothing like that. So it doesn't affect you, you know, like they're going to be stuck in that negative mindset. No matter what, especially if you're doing it, responding in these types of ways or so.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, you know, there's no need to be negative back or anything of the sort. It's more about if you do respond, you still be respectful, still be kind, and you just try to respond in a way where you're not bringing negativity to it, but more of you're clarifying, like, I'm the things you're saying is misinformation, and you kind of sound silly by making up lies that aren't true whatsoever. And I don't appreciate you doing so. So I'm sorry you feel that way, type of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then they realize that they're being silly. And then their next comment is going to say something like, oh, but this, but, blah, 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 whatever the case would be. Or they're going to say, oh, well, I mean, okay, but you still did, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to try and get an actual response out of you. And once that happens, like, you already won. There's no need to respond to that next comment because you already made your initial response if you had to, type of thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we fucking both covered it. We talked about the same fucking thing. People don't like that, man. Haters don't like that, bro. Like, they just don't. Kindness responding to like a hateful comment, bro. Like they just don't like that, bro. They want what they want is negativity back. That's the type of energy they want back because that's what gets them going. So that's the point of that. So that's why you don't do that. You don't respond in a negative way back. You don't say negative things back to them. Yeah, like I said, I'll touch on it a little bit more. You can't be a people pleaser either, bro. Like
That's a fact, dude.
like
You can't.
you're
There's
you're.
always,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that there's always going to be people, no matter how hard you try, that are just not going to be a fan. And you can't take that to heart. It's more of like, well, I mean, listen, I've done XYZ to improve and whatever it is that they're trying to critique you on. And if they're still saying the same type of things, then you realize that you can't please them. And there's no reason to even listen to what they're saying anymore.
Exactly, dude. Like, yeah, you just can't be a people pleaser. Like, they're like we already said, there's always gonna be if you're working your ass off and you're working towards goals and doing this, there's always gonna be haters. And yeah, you can't fucking please these people, man. You can't be a people pleaser. You can't please everyone as it is, dude. The harder you try to be a people pleaser and please everyone, the more fucking stress you're gonna put on yourself and the more burnout you're gonna be, and it's just gonna fuck you up mentally because you're trying to people please. You got to be comfortable with the fact that you can't be a people pleaser and that people are going to hate on you no matter what. And yeah, like you said, if you are getting criticism from people and it's not just negativity and you take that criticism and you evaluate it and you know that you worked on that stuff and you continue to work on that stuff and they're just saying the same thing, they are just haters, you know? Maybe it was criticism at first, but if they're saying the same fucking things and you worked on that, you can't please them, you know? You can't fucking people please these people and it's not going to change anything. So realize that yeah, you can't be a people pleaser and as long as you're working hard just like and staying true to yourself and reaching your goals and being a good person, like not everyone's always going to be happy with you. Not everyone's going to like you, this and that because everyone has their own already, especially people that know you. They already have an opinion of you and you can't change that most of the time. So you just keep working towards fucking being a better person and reaching your goals and doing things to better yourself. And it doesn't matter what other people are saying to you. So yeah, just realize that, man, because people have an opinion of you and it don't matter where that opinion was formed, but most of the time that's not changing. Like that's a lot of the reason too, I believe, like where haters come from, dude, is especially like when people know you and like I'm saying, like people have an opinion on you. shit, dude, they might have got that opinion back in high school or
Yep.
middle school, or just from seeing like a short video of you from someone else's Snapchat, or someone else telling a story to them about you, and there's misinformation there, whatever the case may be. They have their first opinion formed of you, and in their head that doesn't change. And so that's why
Yep.
there's so many haters, dude. So you can't people please, because most people's opinion on you is already formed in their mind, and that opinion of you is not going to change no matter what you do. Even if you have changed, even if you have become better, even if you are a way different person than what you were. So as long as you are working towards being a better person, and doing your own thing and working towards goals and becoming your true authentic self, and radiating those vibes, and it doesn't matter what people are saying to you, so, or about you or to you, because their opinion's not going to change. Yeah. What else? There ain't much else to say on that, bro. When it comes to that, you can't people please. Opinions are kind of set in stone. I don't know why people are like that, and it sucks that I know this is a little off topic, but it still goes with it. Is like, why are you such a hater to someone, especially if you don't know them? What's the point of that? And like we already talked about, you're just insecure in yourself and seeing someone do something that you wish you were doing most of the time. But if you've heard a story about someone, or saw something that they did one time you didn't like, or know them from a long time ago, or this or that, you have to realize that they can change. And I know, like I say, there's always going to be haters, but this is a way to like kind of reduce that, and helping people. Like, if you are a hater, I'm giving you this advice. You know that deep down you can change as a person, and you may have even noticed that you are changing as a person. So your opinion on somebody, especially somebody you met whenever the case may be, a long time ago, or maybe even just 2 weeks ago, or you, like I said, you heard a story from someone else about this person, they can change, bro. People can change. And I don't know why in this generation it's such a problem and why everyone wants to hate on people. And I mean, there's certain things that are really fucked up and deserve to be looked at from people's past that they did this and that. I'm not voting any of that stuff out, but a person's past doesn't represent them either. So there's no point in hating on them or keeping that opinion on them. Like, keep an open mind when it comes to people, and who they are, because you're not always the same person. Like, you always have room to grow. You always have room to change. And you know that yourself. So don't be judging someone else or being an asshole on one experience you had with this person or some story you heard about this person, and just hating on them and stuff like that, because everyone can change. And even if they were a shithead in their past and you didn't like them, or you had a bad experience with them one fucking time, be open-minded, give them another chance. Everyone can change. Don't just be spreading hate about them and stuff like that. Maybe even the time you met them, they're going through a bad time, whatever the case may be. So that's my advice. If you're hating, that's not always the case, like, you may not be a hater and you may just dislike somebody, but same aspect. Don't just hold one fucking opinion on a person based off of one experience, one story, one time you met them, you knew them in high school, you knew them this. Dude, people change on the daily. Like, some people take weeks, years to change, to grow, this and that. But dude, we're changing. Most people and pretty much everyone, like, even if it's little fucking things, we're changing on the daily, bro. So
Yep.
just be open-minded when it comes to people. Yeah, like, basically, like, don't hold grudges type stuff, and keep positivity in your mind and heart, and don't fucking hold negativity in your mind and heart, because that's just going to make you be a more negative person as well. And that's not what you want. So the more positive you are, and the more you look at positive you have a positive outlook at other people and things in life, the more positivity it's going to bring into your life. The more negativity and negative you are towards other people or experiences or life or whatever, the more negativity you're going to bring into your life. So you just want to be positive. I know this is kind of a little off topic, but I did say we're going to speak on like negativity in lives with like friends, family, jobs, and stuff like that. So that I think this is where we transition into that, because this is kind of like a good transition point.
Yeah.
So basically, I'll ask Jordan. Yeah, like when it comes to a negative environment, let's just put it like that, and we'll break it down into friends, family, work, because that's really what it is. How do you go about dealing with like a negative work environment? Um, because that can be like positive. Like, I'm not saying that's positive, but like, even though it's like negative, a lot of the time there can still be a lot of positives there. So like, how do you weigh out like if you want to stay there and it's negative for this reason, or like, well, like kind of weighing out pros and cons of it being negative, positive, or even if it's just like, if you feel like you're not happy, like I don't know, it's a hard question. Like basically, how do you stay positive in a negative workplace, or like how do you look at it like that? Yeah, like weighing out pros and cons of it being too negative or positive. Like, yeah, let's talk about weighing out pros and cons of a negative workplace or anything along those lines.
Yeah. So, I mean, just for anything, just any type of environment that might be negative, though, at least what I used to do, I don't really run into the issue today, but, before like growing up in high school, college, stuff like that is, I would say, well, what are the things that are bringing value to me out of this environment? And what are the things that I might not necessarily like, that I might dislike, that are kind of bringing, I guess, pressures onto my life type of thing. And I kind of look at that, right? And like, it takes time to really analyze it for yourself, because you have to dive deep and be honest with yourself, having a true conversation of saying like, well, I mean, there are positives of being in this situation, but there's also all of these other pressures that are on top of it that aren't necessarily benefiting my life. And whenever I did run into that issue, I'd be like, well, you have two options. And anytime I've told anybody this, there was like, oh, but it's too hard. I'm like, no, you only have two options. It's one, you stay, or two, you leave. That's it.
Yeah.
One's not easier than the other, both hard. Either you stay in that, bad environment, and you just deal with it, with all those pressures, and you just, go on with your life being in a negative environment and just do your thing, or you change it. And now changing it's not easy either, though. Because A, you have to leave that environment, and then B, you have to find a new environment, which is also very difficult to do as well. And then you have to make sure that that new environment, you're not going into a negative one, which
Right.
makes it even more complex.
Yeah.
But at least for myself, whenever I did have to do this, I always found that whenever I left the negative environment, that I'm not going to say every time, but I'd say at least 8-9 times out of 10, that next environment was always positive, because I stepped out of my comfort zone and I put myself in a situation that was new to me and that I'd never been in before. So it forced me to grow into, I guess, taking a next step on who I am as a person, but also put me into new environments as well, which then I cultivated it to be a positive environment.
Yeah. I'll build off that. I think when it comes to work, that's what I'm going to talk about. Let's focus on work here, because that's what you focused on. When it comes to a work environment, and you basically, yeah, it doesn't, there can be negative things and positive, and it can still be a good job, So you had to really weigh out the pros and cons, how you feel when you're there, how are your coworkers, how does management treat you, all that type of stuff, right? What are you learning from there? Is it really making your skill set better? Is it really something you want to do in life? Is it something you want to be? And if you decide that the pros are heavier than the cons, and you still feel like it's negative, but you want to stay, I'm going to say that's not always a bad thing. But my advice for that is same thing with what I said about dealing with critics and negativity in life is just like do your best fucking job to bring the positivity to that place. If that place is negative, but you want to stay there because there are more pros and cons, but there's still like negativity or negative energy in there. Just do your best to bring the positive energy, because if you bring that energy, bro, that's totally shifting everything. Like that can shift anyone else's energy in there. If you have a higher frequency, a higher level of vibration, more energy, you're happy, you're instead of looking at things with a negative mindset, you're bringing in the positive mindset. That can completely flip everyone else's switches in that room. You can it can be positivity can be that powerful. Whether you're a confident or powerful or positive person all the time, like positivity can be that powerful in a room full of negativity and negative people. So if the job is sort of negative, but you liked it, you like it, whatever you like, the pros are higher than the cons. Yeah. Just if you be positive about it, maybe you'll find out that it's not so negative too. You know, maybe it's not the people. Maybe when you're weighing out those pros and cons, you realize it's negative because it's your mindset and not the job. So just try to be grateful and yeah, weigh out pros and cons, but yeah, look at everything with a more positive mindset. But also like if you do that and you realize like, holy shit, this place sucks and it's not me. Yeah, don't stay in that negativity. Because like I said, if you're staying in that negativity, you're gonna become negative and you're gonna not have a positive mindset. It's gonna bring you down as a person. It's gonna bring your vibration down, your frequency. It's gonna make you think negatively. You may have bad days and you're really not having bad days. You're gonna feel like it's a bad day, stuff like that. Like Jordan said, too, like it is hard to leave, but make yourself uncomfortable and bring yourself into a new positive position. Because being uncomfortable is actually a positive thing. It may not feel like it, but to grow as a person, you had to get uncomfortable. So leave that negative fucking job and fucking look for something better. Like he said, he's not gonna say all the time, but 8-9 times out of 10, you're finding a better position. And guess what? If you don't, do it again. You know, like you just keep trying. It's trials and tribulations. You don't have to fucking find the perfect job the first time around, the second time around, the third time around. And I know it gets even harder every time, and it's probably more stressful on you. But once it comes to the fact that you find that perfect job, bro, you're just gonna be, you know, even if you were a negative person before, just finding the right environment, especially the workplace, can really just change your vibration and make you a happy person, especially if you love what you're doing.
Facts. That's what that is. That's facts.
Facts only, brother. No kizzy. We speak facts on this podcast. Talk about this. We already talked about it in workplace, but it plays a big role in the same role to me is like kind of the workplace. And I said like you're gonna be more negative if you're in a negative workplace around negative people. So make sure you're evaluating yourself and your job in that sort of way. But make sure when it comes to your friend group, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Because if you're around a lot of people that ain't working hard or doing nothing or just not on the same path as you, and you notice that, obviously if you notice that, that's a good thing. But if you don't notice that, but they're not doing too much and you feel like you should be doing more, it's going to be a lot harder for you to do more when you're surrounding yourself with people that aren't doing more or aren't trying to reach goals or are not working hard. And even if it has to not do with that, and maybe they are working hard and stuff, if they're negative people, they're going to bring in that negative mindset, and that's going to bring negativity around you and bring your vibration down and make you more prone to negativity. So make sure you're evaluating your friend group and who you surround yourself with, and make sure you surround yourself with positive people and people that want to grow with you, want to help you grow. They want to grow themselves as individuals, and they have an outlook on life with positivity. Because negativity, like I said, positivity can really outweigh negativity. But negativity, man, that shit's hard to escape when there's a lot of it. If every one of your fucking friends is negative, and you're in say your friend group's a group of 5 and you're like the 6th person, every one of those people is negative, it's gonna be hard to escape that negativity or that way of living. So yeah, just make sure when it comes to your friend group, it's the same thing. Don't put yourself in a negative environment when it comes to your friends. Look for positive people. And also, if you really like your friends and you don't want to leave them, like I said, and even if it is fucking really hard and they're negative people and it's hard to escape that negativity, I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, just same with the workplace, man. Just you bringing in that positivity and a happy, true, authentic vibe and positivity into that area, positive energy, dude, it's contagious as fuck, dude. So if your friends are on a different level than you and they're negative or whatever, man, positive energy, you put that on them, you bring it every time you show up, it's going to change that room of people. If you don't want to leave and you just really want to help them grow or whatever the case may be, like even though they're negative, you just fucking love your friends, man, you got to stay positive and you got to bring the positivity to that group. But don't let it suck the life out of you. Like if you're doing that and they're not changing at all, and it's still just always negative vibes, and like I said, that's just powerful. Bringing the positivity, most of the time it's going to change the room, but sometimes it doesn't, because if there's so much, like I said, if there's so much negativity in that room, it ain't going to change it. But if you bring that fucking positivity, you can change that fucking room, and then everyone in your friend group can change their outlooks on lives, and you can be the reason for that. But also, like I said, don't let that fucking suck the life out of you, and don't just fucking only give them positive energy. If they don't start to change and do it back and reciprocate that energy, you got to get out of there, reevaluate the friend group, find new people to surround yourself with, because you really become who you surround yourself with in environments. So if you're fucking, like I said, if you're around negative people that ain't doing much, people that don't have goals, people that don't try to reach their goals, people that aren't working hard, you're gonna fucking get sucked into that energy, and you're gonna become that. So yeah, do your best to not do that. But like I said, if it's really that bad and you really don't want to leave them people, you just got to be that bright light. But don't let it just drain your energy so much where you come home and you really just fucking got to recharge so much every time you come home. That's a bad thing, and you'll start to pick up on that. You'll know that you're doing too much or giving out too much of your energy. So find a happy medium there if you decide you don't want to leave your friend group. But I'm going to tell you that if it's so negative, you should probably reevaluate and find something better.
Yeah, that goes right off of the whole ideology of saying, well, show me those that are closest to you and I can show your future type of thing. And that goes for anything, like both positive and negative. If they're negative, if 4 or 5 of them out of 6 or 7 or whatever are negative, you're going to be that next one.
Yep.
If the majority is positive, you'll also be positive as well. And it works both ways. But it's more of saying, like, just be wary of the people you keep close to you. Like, you can still have really good friends, but maybe not have them be in your like super tight inner circle if they're not aligning with where you want to get to in life, type of thing.
No, exactly. Yeah,
You know?
I agree. I don't mean to cut you off. Same thing. Yeah, like maybe you don't completely cut these people off, but you just give them less of your energy, you know? Like you don't have to fucking be a complete douchebag and say we're not fucking friends anymore because I don't agree with what you're doing or something. But I like or be like a douche and be like, we're not fucking friends anymore because you're not doing shit. But if you do express your feelings, be like, I want better for you, and I think you should try to do this or something. Be positive, give them the positivity, and they still like aren't doing it, but you still enjoy them as a friend. Like, yeah, just give them less of your energy. Maybe take them out of your close circle and have them on the outside. Still be friends, acquaintances, hang out with them here and there, but you just got to give it way less energy and not fucking engulf yourself in that energy.
That's the advice.
All right. I think the last thing I want to speak on is the same thing with family, man. I'm not really going to speak too much on it because it's the same advice, dude. Just because they're your fucking family doesn't mean they can't be a fucking negative aspect in your life, you know? Like, and that's very, very, very shitty to say and hard to say. But like, if your siblings, your parents, any of that are not being a positive outlook in your life, and they're not spreading positivity towards you or telling you to reach your goals, this and that, then get out of that situation. Like, you don't have to cut them off. They're fucking family. And I know how hard that can be, but at least get yourself out of the situation. Move out. Don't live with them. Call them on the phone. Surround yourself with them a little bit less. But also, like I said, like, start putting your values and your positivity into them. And once you start showing that, it can really help them change too. And I know that's not, like I said, you don't want to just give away your energy like that, but it's really hard to just give up on family. So that's one aspect. I don't want to say just fucking completely cut them off, but if that is the case and you have to do that, then you have to do that. It's understandable. You can't just deal with toxic and negative energy, especially with your family if they're not supporting you and they're just being assholes and this and that, or saying negative things, or never on your side, or never support you. Like, you can't be dealing with that. But if you just like feel like they're negative and you want to get out of there, but you still, it's family, you still love them, you still want to care for them, just like just try to fucking spread your positivity towards them as well. And I'm going to guarantee you that more than likely they're going to change their ways, and they'll even pick up on it. Like, holy shit, like, like, why does my son, my daughter, my brother, my sister not want to be around me as much? Why do we not speak as much? And it could be just because you're busy and you are adults and stuff like that, but they'll evaluate that, and hopefully it helps them evaluate the fact that maybe if they're being not a good person towards you, that they'll change their ways.
I got nothing to add to what you said. You just hit it spot on, man.
All right. Well then, nothing to fucking say. This will be a shorter one. And I say let's go into the quote of the day then, if you have nothing else to say. I have 2 quotes of the day, so I'll speak
You have
on
2?
those. Yeah, I have 2. Yeah, you got any?
I do have one, actually. You want to hear it?
Yeah, let's start with you. You give me your quote of the day.
All right. This is also for my journal, as per usual. They have some really, really damn good quotes in here. And it's always funny because every time I find a quote for quote of the day, I open up the page that I'm at, and it always has something relevant to what we're speaking about. To a degree.
That's a good thing, though, bro. That's dope.
Mm-hmm. So the quote is, "There is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." Nelson Mandela.
Repeat that. Sorry.
There is no
The
passion.
people need to hear it again. That's why.
There is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living.
I'm sorry. I'm silent. I'm evaluating this quote real quick. I'm trying to fucking think on it. It's not as much to me, it doesn't fucking exactly hit on today's topic, but that's not what the quote of the day is about, so that doesn't fucking matter. But I'm gonna try my best to put it into today's topic, and that's just really about like with it when it comes to passion and stuff, like you have your passions, you have hobbies you like, all that stuff, right? But a passion is something you fucking love, And if you love something, you got to go for it, right? You got to fucking go for it. Just go for it. It can be uncomfortable, but if you love something, strive for that, man. Strive to reach that goal. Strive to fucking go anywhere in life with what you love. Don't fucking get stuck in the ebb and flow like we talked about. Don't get stuck in fucking everyday life, living a life you don't want to live. And also, how I'm going to relate that to this is when it comes to your passions and stuff you love, man, fuck the haters. I said don't be negative towards them, but fuck the haters, man. You're going to have haters no matter what you do in life. Even if you're stuck in the ebb and flow every day, it don't matter. So when it comes to your passions, you got people hating on you, just making negative comments, whatever the case may be. Just like I said, brush that shit off because you're always going to have haters. So if it's something you're passionate about and you love, just keep working harder and keep working towards those goals, that passion. And it doesn't matter what anybody says to you. If you work hard enough and you lay out a plan for yourself to hit those goals and strive, you're gonna make it. You're gonna do what you want in your life. You can do whatever you want in your life, and that doesn't matter what anybody says. And that doesn't matter from random haters, random critics, family, friends, acquaintances, anyone. You can do whatever the fuck you want in your life. And if you're passionate about it and you love it that much, you need to do it.
Yeah, so I have a somewhat similar take, but mine is like it gets like for me, it's not getting stuck in the what if mindset of like, oh, like what if I fail? What if people criticize me? What if people are gonna hate on me? What if people are gonna do XYZ, give me negative comments, whatever the case may be, and instead switch to saying, well, what if it works? What if it's better than I could have ever expected? What if this is actually going to be better than anything I could have ever dreamed about? And the only way you can really do that is if you put one foot over the other and put your best foot forward that you can every single day and just go for it. And by going for it, you're going to have those critics, those negative comments, those haters. It's all going to be there. Like it's unavoidable. But by just going for it and doing so, you'd be amazed at what you can actually accomplish in your life.
No, bro. That's what I'm saying. Are you finished? I don't want to cut you off.
No, I'm good.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like you took that in a different direction than I did, and I like the direction you took that in because it still relates to today. And that's instead of asking yourself, what if this can go wrong? Ask yourself, what about it can go right? You just got to flip that fucking mindset in your head from being negative to a positive thing. And like we both said, you put your fucking mind to it, man. It doesn't really matter what it is. You can do it in life. It doesn't matter if it's becoming a millionaire, and it doesn't matter if it's owning something you really want that's very expensive. Whatever your goals are, whatever that big thing is, you can reach that goal if you put your mind to it. And that, like he said, you're going to have so many people telling you you can't, this, that, blah, blah, blah. It don't matter what they say because it's really just you versus you and how hard you want to work to make those things happen. And if you work hard enough and you put your mind to it, you're going to make those things happen. All right, let's transition, I guess, into my quote of the day. And it kind of goes with the aspect of the negativity in I would say relationships, whether that's family, friends, jobs, any of that. And the quote is by Mark Groves. It says, "The best decision I ever made was to promise myself that I would have all the conversations I didn't want to have because those are the ones that matter. I decided to never hide my words because hiding them hid me. I decided that I was no longer a slave to my fears and the opinions of others."
That's a damn good quote, let me tell you. But yeah, I mean, it really just hits spot on of saying like, how do I want to take this? a lot of people will like to take the easy choice. And 9 times out of 10, the easy choice is not always the better choice. And it's not always the choice you should be making. And specifically for negative environments, things of that sort, if you decide to not speak your mind, if you decide to not take action to change the environment, you decide to stay complacent and stay where you're at, you can't expect the result that you're getting to change at all. Rather, it's just going to keep being there, and it's just going to build and build and build to where, now, granted, I don't know how many people will end up doing this or even the percentages, but I'm just going to say 50-50 split. Just a generic thing of, it'll get to a point where it's so absurd, and the pressures that are getting put upon you in these negative environments are going to weigh on you so heavy that you're either going to change it or you're just going to stay and suck it up and just have a negative outlook yourself on whatever the situation is. Now, I would personally hope that once most people get to that point, that they would decide to make a change. But again, that's not always the easiest way out, though. But if you decide to change your environment, you decide to speak your mind in a respectful manner, not being rude or anything of the sort, you will end up being able to have those difficult conversations, and you'll find out that you can either stay in the environment and it, like we were talking about, can change it internally, or you're going to have to leave the environment and go find a better environment somewhere else.
You covered it, bro. I'll speak on it, but you're covering it. Like, at first I was going to say a little bit different stuff, but then you covered it all. Like, you hit it all. And besides one thing, maybe, but I'll still speak on all of it, like kind of re-go over what you just said. And it's yeah, the best decision I ever made was to promise myself that I would have all the conversations I didn't want to have, because those are the ones that matter. I decided to never have my words because hiding them hid me. I decided that I was no longer a slave to my fears and the opinions of others. And I think it kind of hits on a lot of aspects of what this podcast was about today. And hiding your words, like if you hide your words, like he said, if you're in a negative place, whether that's work, with family, with friends, and you just sit there and don't say anything, you're gonna be in a bad place. You're gonna stay in a bad place, and especially if you decide not to leave. But here's how you get out of that, and that's speaking how you feel, right? Like he said, you speak how you feel, and in a respectful manner, and show people how you feel. It's more than likely going to change. And if it doesn't change, like he said, then you got to change. You got to leave that situation, no matter if it's work, relationship, family, friends, girlfriend, boyfriend. You got to get out of that negative aspect, but you still can't be afraid to speak how you feel. And if it is a negative situation and you're not really sure where you're at, you have to be able to, instead of hiding your words and speaking to them, like, you can't hide your words from those situations. You got to speak how you feel, but you have to speak how you feel to yourself too. And that's probably how you're going to get to that feeling and realize, like, this is a negative spot. By speaking to yourself and talking to yourself about how you feel, you're going to be able to evaluate that a lot better. And then you're going to be comfortable with speaking that to them after speaking to yourself. So you want to speak that words to yourself in your head, in private, whatever the case may be. And then you might be a lot more comfortable with speaking those words to other people, because that is a very uncomfortable position to be in. And then we get into the last part. I decided that, well, let's go to the second part. I decided to never hide my words because hiding them hid me. Even if it's not a negative workplace or relationship, whatever, you still got to stay true and authentic to yourself and give off those positive vibes of yourself. So you want to speak whatever it is. And if you're a happy-go-lucky person and you're goofy or whatever the case may be, I'd like to say that's how I am. I mean, I get in a negative mindset here and there, but I'm definitely a very goofy person, and I try to be happy. And all that kind of stuff. So, like, you want to speak that, because if not, you're still hiding your true feelings and hiding who you are as a person. So you want to be okay with speaking your words because that shows your authentic vibes and who you are as a person. And then lastly, I decided that I was no longer a slave to my fears and the opinions of others. By speaking those words, you're proving you're not afraid of your fears anymore because you're speaking that. You're getting out of that comfort zone and you've evaluated it obviously inside your head, and now you're evaluating it out loud with whoever that is, work, like I said, work, friends, family, whatever it needs to be, relationships. And then it also talks about you're no longer a slave to fears or the opinions of others. And that I'm going to go back to Jordan's quote about you're not afraid when you're passionate, man, and you realize you're passionate about something, and you're don't want to settle. And once you get to just a certain point and you decide that you're no longer a slave to my fears and the others opinions of others, like you're going to go so much farther in life, especially in your passions, and you're going to reach your goals because like we talked about this whole podcast, uh, people's opinions and people hating and people having negative comments about you and towards you or about what you're doing is always going to be there. So once you're not afraid of that anymore and you can comprehend that and understand where maybe they're coming from or why those comments are coming in, but even if they're just absurd and they shouldn't be coming in, and you realize like you're always going to have haters in whatever aspect of life it is, then you're going to reach your goals. You're going to be able to live a lot less stressful life because you're not going to be worrying about what other people got to fucking say about you, no matter what it is.
Yeah, I have one thing to add from what you were saying. And as you were talking, it just reminded me of this quote. I don't remember who it's by. I just remember listening to it in a video a while ago. And it was basically saying that um, if you know, don't like to speak out on things because you want to keep the peace around you, who's keeping the peace inside yourself, though?
No words, man. That's a heavy fucking hitter.
It is a very big hitter.
For real.
But the whole
I
the
don't
whole
really have
the whole
anything to
premise
say.
of it was saying like yes, you might feel like you have to keep the peace around you, but what is that doing to you internally? And
Okay.
instead, maybe try again in a respectful way and not being rude or anything of the sort, but by voicing your opinion, and you'll find out that you'll actually be more energetic and more positive because you're able to keep the peace inside of you by focusing on yourself and speaking your mind, but you're not wreaking havoc on the environment externally either, though.
And you're not letting all that tension and trauma and fucking anxiety and depression just build up inside your body, because when that
Yep.
happens, it gets stuck in your body, no matter where it
Mm-hmm.
is, your head, your muscles, all that energy, it has nowhere to go. Like that
Yep.
stuff, if you don't release it, it stays in your body and it moves around in your body. It can give you gut. I know this is way off topic, but it can give you gut issues. It can make your joints hurt. It can make your back
Yep.
hurt. That's basically like where anxiety and all that stuff comes from, so yeah. And my second quote goes kind of off this. I'm glad you said that. I don't really want to talk about too much more on it. I'm just going to say this quote. We can briefly speak on it because we're towards the end here, but it says, sit with it instead of drinking it away, smoking it away, sleeping it away, eating it away, fucking it away, or running from it. Sit with it. Healing happens by feeling. So you got to, whatever those emotions are, and this can go into negativity in the workplace, negativity in a relationship, negativity with haters, blah, blah, blah. Like we said, internally, take care of that and heal yourself and think about it, evaluate it, know why you feel the way you feel about it, know why, understand why you hurt from it, understand whatever the case may be. And this doesn't have to be with any of that, like, it doesn't, can be with like pain, can be from a breakup, any of that. I know this is off topic, but sit with it, man. And then once you sat with it, then yes, come out, express how you feel, but make sure that you're not coming out in a negative way either. So like
Yep.
you coming out in a negative way after sitting with it, you really didn't heal yourself. You're still fucking letting off bad emotions and negative emotions that is going to bring a negative outlook probably back on you again, because you're being negative with someone else or giving someone else energy that is negative. They're going to come back and reciprocate more than likely most of the time, unless you're with someone that is pretty healed or spiritually aware. They're going to come back with negative energy. So yeah, that's what I got to say about that quote. That quote doesn't have, it says unknown author, but I saw it today and I really liked it. I know it doesn't really have that much to do with this episode, but like I just feel like there's so many. I found this quote when it was the anxiety depression episode, because this quote I feel like is just explains today's generation. I struggled with it myself. I told you guys that there's so many fucking vices when it comes to just dealing with pain and trying to mask it instead of dealing with it internally and feeling that on the inside and realizing why you feel the way you feel. That there's just too many and so many unhealed people because they just want to fucking go drink and try to forget about it, or smoke it away, sleep all that shit away, sleep all the trauma, all the fucking pain away, eat it away. That's why people's diets are shit. Or fucking, like we said, when it comes to relationships, just hook up and fuck it away, or just run from it in general, and not even, just never think inside about that. Just like literally just try to run. Like all those is running from it, but you can literally just like run from it. Like if it comes up in your mind, just fucking don't think about it at all. But then, like I said, that shit just gets stuck. That energy just gets stuck in your body. So sit with it, heal it, because healing happens by feeling.
Yeah. The only thing I have to add is you don't want to be reactive. You want to be proactive in that approach.
Yep.
And the proactive approach is exactly everything that Braeden said, of taking time to deal with it by yourself and kind of dive into like why you feel this way, how you can get better, things of that nature, as opposed to finding ways to mask it. Because once you mask it, that issue's still there.
It doesn't
And
go
it's
away,
only
dude.
going to get worse the
Yep.
longer you mask it. So
Yes.
you just got to deal with it head on, take time to really understand the way you're feeling, how to move forward, and how to grow and heal yourself from it.
Exactly, bro. All right, guys. Little tangent at the end there on the quotes, but thanks for tuning in this week. Is a good episode. Dives a bit into negativity and all aspects of life. Like we said, it could be from haters, it could be from people you know. How to handle it, and also if you are a hater, how to kind of not be a hater. We did talk on that too. And just how to evaluate and understand why you are a hater if you are one. And then how to deal with negativity in different environments, whether it's the workplace, with family, friends. We didn't cover on it in relationships, but that's because we just talked about relationships. So let's we're gonna end it there. And like I said, thanks for watching, listening. If you don't watch on YouTube, hopefully you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. We really appreciate the support. And one last thing. Remember the fucking song, dude. Keep My Peace by Valiant. It plays at the beginning of this. Run up the streams. It's an amazing song. Fits this podcast perfectly. There's a clip of it at the beginning, and we always end this podcast with the same song. Plays the full song at the end. So if you like it, go download it on Apple Music or Spotify. All links are in the bio of the YouTube video, and all our links are also there. So like if you watch us on YouTube and you decide like, oh, I can't watch you today, but I still want to listen, all our links are there on our link tree connected to the YouTube video. So you can download the episode on Spotify, Apple Music. You can check out our Instagram, give us a follow on there, like some of our clips that we post from here. Check out our TikTok. We also post clips. Like us on Facebook. All those links are all connected to the link tree. in our YouTube description bio. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming and joining, Jordan. Always have a good time being on here. I'm glad you're my fucking co-host, bro. And the people don't know about this, but I really appreciate the fucking talk we had before this podcast, because you know that I didn't want to do this podcast today, and it was a rough day for me. So I appreciate you fucking getting me in the mood and wanting to talk about this and just having a good podcast, because before I didn't want to do it, and now we're here, and I really am glad we did it, and I had a good ass episode. So thank you, Jordan, and all you guys have a good fucking night. Thanks for listening.
I don't really wanna talk when the cap comes off, yeah. I don't really give a fuck, I'ma let you walk, yeah. Let me live my life, I'ma let you do you, yeah. I just wanna have fun and with my feet kicked back, drinking hand, meditate about getting back. Chase good vibes, protect me, tell no lies and keep my peace. I just might have hurt my liver, 7-day bender, yeah, I'm a sinner. Full-time sender, win a chicken dinner. Truth don't bend her, lies, I'm no swimmer. That's this pussy, then my eyes get wide, silent killer. Pride go hide, mood tight like Miller. On my DT shit, blunts feel gorilla. Then I'm stuck in the same spot, work ethic vanilla. At least I'm working, and the road's real rocky, so I'm swerving. Daily hoes coming to, I'm not deserving. Pissed a few too many off, but I'm learning. Burning bridges that burn me. I don't really wanna talk when the cap comes off, yeah. I don't really give a fuck, I'ma let you walk, yeah. Let me live my life, I'ma let you do you, yeah. I just wanna have fun and I don't think I'm special. Everybody around telling me I'm skipping levels. Devil on my shoulder saying trust my ego. Don't trust, never trust that evil. Cause when I did, bender from one sip. Trauma when I was a kid. It all came crashing down, down, down on me. Break me down and build me up. I don't need help, I do it myself. Roll a little loud and lift me up. I'll put you in a lick up on a shelf. I don't really wanna talk when the cap comes off, yeah. I don't really give a fuck, I'ma let you walk, yeah. Let me live my life, I'ma let you do you, yeah. I just wanna have fun and with my feet kicked back.